Hello everyone, how are you doing this morning? My name is Makeda Valletta, also known as the Renaissance Amazon, and I'm currently live on my Instagram page. I will save it, repost it to my YouTube page. If you're on YouTube, you don't follow me on IG, be sure that you do, and vice versa, because I don't always post the same things in both places. In case you don't know me, I know the ones who are watching me on live do, but I am a dancer, a trainer, a former athlete, just hugely into, I'm an artist and a scientist, okay, to just give you a brief intro to who I am. And I'm a critic of sorts, okay? So this morning I want to talk about, I'm just tired of all the Rihanna conversations about the Super Bowl. So I want to have a real conversation, a balanced one, because I'm also a critical thinker, okay? I'm a critical thinker, and you know, critics have always existed. You have people who critique sports. I mean, sports fans will sit all day and debate about who they think the best athlete is and who they think is trash, you know, but art is subjective, okay? Art is subjective. And with me having a background in the performing arts, okay, and I'm also from New York City, and New York City is very real, okay? Unlike California, unlike not just LA, but California period, okay, where they have this hippy-dippy attitude in California. In California, you will see people on stage, people performing, people in positions, performance and teaching positions where they're not good enough to be there. Like in New York, they would never be doing that. Like if you're teaching in New York, if you're performing in New York, it's because you are top tier. You are official. You are the real deal. We don't half step and we don't kiss people's ass. You know what I'm saying? We're real about the shit. If you dope, you dope. We'll say that. And if you're not, you're not. I mean, and that's how the art world is. People know that, you know, in modeling doesn't really exist anymore. But in the era of the high fashion model, you know, you remember, you've seen Tyra Banks, whatever show she had, Top Model, and how cutthroat and nitpicky they were. It's like that in the dance world. It's like that in the art world, period. And I feel like nowadays people are extra sensitive. But getting onto the topic about Rihanna, I think that she's a beautiful woman. I always thought that, you know, I liked the fact that she was comfortable being outside with her nipples out, smoking her blunts, unapologetically hiding those things. I always respected those things about her. However, I never thought she was a good performer. I remember when she was very young, I wasn't really a fan of hers like that. But then as she got older into her adulthood, I did like some of her songs. But I felt like she was lucky because she had a good team. They gave her good songs. I didn't think that she was particularly talented. Like Rihanna can't necessarily sing to me. Like I'm Black American. Afro-Americans, we have a high standard when it comes to singing. Okay, and Caribbean people, no offense, but Caribbean people, unless they're Cuban or Puerto Rican, Caribbeans aren't good singers, okay? Jamaicans cannot sing. Haitians, I love them to death, but they cannot mess with no Caribbean people unless they are Puerto Rican or Cuban, to me, have I heard sing with real soul. Okay, so to me, Rihanna is not a good singer. And then as a performer, she's always been a lazy performer. I've always thought that about her. I remember there was like one performance, and maybe it was the last performance I saw of her some years ago. I remember looking at her and thinking she is so lazy. Like, she's so lazy. Now, you have somebody like Mariah Carey, Mariah Carey is lazy, but Mariah Carey has amazing vocals. So Mariah Carey, dancing isn't her thing. She's awkward when she moves around, but Mariah Carey can sing better than a lot of damn people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if Mariah Carey is not the best performer, I mean, back in the day, Mariah Carey used to have her team of black men dancing in the fields and stuff like that, but she at least could sing. With Rihanna, I feel like Rihanna has always been a lazy performer, and she's not a good singer. And the one thing I'm going to say about Beyonce, and the thing is, it's interesting when Stephen A. Smith, you know, made the comment he made, because when I first found out that Rihanna was performing at the Super Bowl, the first thing I said, when I came up on my feed, the first thing I said was, why? Why is Rihanna performing at the Super Bowl? Like, to me, Rihanna is not a Super Bowl caliber performer at all, okay? Rihanna has never put on one performance, okay, that has been memorable, ever. Like, there's no Rihanna performance that people are like, oh, you remember when Rihanna did this performance? Ever. And if you go back and look at Rihanna's old footage, you will see she is lazy. She puts in minimal effort in her dancing and her performing. Now, when people talk about the Super Bowl and like, oh, she was pregnant. Okay. Like, people are like, oh, people expected her to do cartwheels. No. Okay. You can even put on a great performance, even if you're not a dancer and you're not dancing. Like, I've seen Erykah Badu perform, and she doesn't dance, and she puts on great shows. But even like Missy Elliott. Let's say Missy Elliott did a show. Missy Elliott don't be doing all them damn steps, but Missy Elliott comes out with dancers like that put on an amazing show. I feel like with Rihanna's Super Bowl performance, I feel like the costumes sucked. You know, dancing is about seeing the body. Why would you have your dancers in a whole bunch of baggy outfits like that? Okay. Then her outfit, I feel like it was just like, okay, you put on a sweatsuit. Like, yes, you're pregnant, but if you think about Beyonce, Beyonce performed pregnant with twins, right? Beyonce was not dancing all over the stage, but she looked like a goddess. She had on beautiful costumes, okay? She had on beautiful costumes, and then she has better vocals than Rihanna. Beyonce is not the best singer Black Americans have, but she can sing. And I remember she did an amazing performance. So it's not that you have to be doing cartwheels and you're pregnant, no. But it was like, to me, the whole show was just lackluster. And I feel like when people use a pregnancy excuse, like, oh, what did you expect? If you know that your pregnancy is going to make you not be able to perform well, then just don't do the show. Like, you don't have to do it. But I just feel like, I have felt like Rihanna has been overhyped for years. Because I remember years ago, she won some type of Michael Jackson performance award or something. And I remember thinking to myself, like, there's no way that Rihanna should win an award that is attached to Michael Jackson's name, because she doesn't want Michael Jackson being a Black American, right? If you look at the legacy of Afro-American performers, we have the Tina Turners, okay? You go back and look, which Beyonce, to me, is the only one. You know, Beyonce, Tina Turner, and what is her face? What is her name from Harlem? I forget her name. Tiana Taylor, okay? They are on that level. They're like on the same level. Tiana Taylor is Super Bowl worthy. Okay, and apparently I heard back in the day, Tiana Taylor and Rihanna had beef, like Rihanna was throwing shots at Tiana Taylor. I don't know, but I heard that. But Tiana Taylor is legit talented, okay? Tiana Taylor can sing, she can rap, and she can perform her ass off. And Tiana Taylor would kill the Super Bowl, okay? So I just feel like I'm not in the art world sometimes, you get people who get put in these positions that they don't deserve, like Lauryn Hill, okay? Love Lauryn Hill and the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. But Lauryn Hill, back in, you know, I don't know, like 2000, she came out with a live album, an acoustic album, where she told everybody, I don't know myself. The music industry made this image of me. So I don't know me, you don't know me, my parents don't know me. And from that point on, Lauryn Hill started looking like a bag lady and singing horribly and doing horrible performances. I remember seeing Lauryn Hill perform. This might have been like, I don't even know, 2008, 2009, some years ago. She did Jazz Fest in New Orleans, and the week before that she did Jazz in the Gardens in Miami, and it was terrible. Like, people were walking out by the buckets when she was in Miami. She looked like a bag lady. She had like, it was hot as hell in Miami. She had like 50 layers of clothes, this crazy Homie the Clown looking makeup, this crazy looking bob wig. She sounded bad. And people were walking out by the buckets. The following week, I saw her at Jazz Fest in New Orleans, and she was also terrible. And I'm just like, I'm not with that, because if this was sports, okay, nobody would keep paying Michael Jordan or LeBron James or any top athlete, okay, money and keep them on the team if they lost their skills. If you lost your skills as an athlete and you can no longer do what you used to do, we're not paying you. Goodbye. So to me, with artists, it's like, okay, you could love who she used to be, okay, but these performances suck. So why does this person deserve to get paid money to come be booked for these shows when there's real talented artists out there that can't get a gig? So I don't have empathy or sympathy for that. I feel like a lot of people, they just want to, they're fans to the point that they just want to hype up their favorite artist, even though the person might have lost their skills or, you know, whatever. And I'm just not with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming, and then when it comes to Beyonce, I feel like Rihanna is overhyped. And I'm not saying I don't like her. I think she's a great girl. I think that she's beautiful. I think that, you know, her whole unapologetic aura is dope. But when people Rihanna, she's 34. I think they said that she hadn't performed in 7 years, or hasn't made music in 7 years. So that means that 27 years old, you already stopped doing stuff. Like, she was, you see someone like, Rihanna doesn't have to. She's a billionaire from her Fenty. She don't got to make music again. And I wouldn't be mad at her if she didn't, because what she's doing makes more money and is less work, right? But I'm just saying, like, you have somebody like Beyonce who's grown over the years, right? And I remember when Beyonce was much younger, she wasn't the kind of performer she is now. I remember seeing her work harder and become a better dancer. I remember back in the day, I thought that Ciara could outperform Beyonce. Now, I don't think that at all. Okay, actually, Ciara lost a lot of her magic and skills. When I see Ciara dance now, she does like the same kind of simple things. Beyonce has worked hard and elevated. Not just that, the works of art that Beyonce puts out. The Lemonade album was an amazing work of art. You know, I really appreciate how Beyonce even displayed Afro-American culture, because me being from New York City, growing up around a lot of Caribbeans, a lot of West Africans, a lot of them don't know anything about our culture, even though they might move to this country. And a lot of Black Americans think that Caribbeans and Africans know about our culture, but they don't. And a lot of Black Americans don't. I've heard Afro-Americans say things like, we don't have any culture, which is absolutely ridiculous. Because Afro-American culture varies so much, whether you are in Chicago, whether you are in Harlem, whether you are in Memphis, whether you're in New Orleans, whether you're in Houston. Okay, all those places that I just mentioned, Baltimore, have totally different, you go to South Carolina, they all have totally different music, food, dance, traditions. And we have real traditions. And to me, in a Lemonade album, Beyonce put that on display, showing doing a country music song. I mean, it was a real work of art. Her Black is King album was an amazing work of art. Okay, she collaborated with those Afrobeats artists. All of my African friends that have seen that, and they look at the visuals for Black is King, they're all like, oh, this is very African. I mean, it's an amazing work of art. Now, I'm not a fan of house music, okay? So the Renaissance album wasn't my thing. But to those who like house music, it seems also like it was an amazing work of art. And so the thing about it is, I feel like everything that Beyonce does, people have a problem with it. People are, oh, she's worshiping the devil, this demonic, and this, and that. People are always mad at her. Every single thing she does. You never hear her complain or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like when it comes to Rihanna, it's like, even when Stephen A. Smith said, when they asked him about Rihanna performing at the Super Bowl, and he said, well, she's not Beyonce, he was right about that. Everybody got so mad and sensitive, but it's like people don't get mad and sensitive if somebody says that about a boxer or somebody says that about any athlete. I mean, I'm not a huge sports fan. I play sports. I have a degree in sports science. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, so my specialty is training athletes, but I've never been hugely into watching it like that and getting all emotional about it. But to people who are into sports, I hear that shit in the background. My twin brother is a sports journalist. He always watches sports TV and sports radio. All they do all day is talk about who sucks and who this and who shoulda, coulda, woulda, and analyzing every single thing. Okay? Toughen up. Okay? Now, people can have their opinions, right? And I completely agree with it. And right now, I get tired of I feel like the overhyping of Rihanna, where it's like, again, I don't dislike her. I think she's great. I do think she is a horrible performer. And I've always thought that. And I feel like I can see lazy. Being a dancer, being a trainer, a strength and conditioning coach, I can see lazy. I can see, there are people who I've taken to a dance class, like a very strenuous dance class, and I can look at that person and see that they're putting in 15% of their energy. You know what I'm saying? They're barely doing anything. And again, I'm not saying, yes, Rihanna was pregnant. I'm not saying that she had to be doing all this crazy stuff, but Rihanna was like that when she wasn't pregnant. Just not a good performer. Again, nobody can tell me one show that Rihanna has done that has been amazing. You know what I'm saying? And so as an Afro-American, I feel like, it's like we judge. I'm from Harlem. That's where the Apollo is, okay? The Apollo, where they boo people off stage if you weren't good enough, okay? So not only does New York have that energy, but that's a Manhattan thing. And you come to Harlem, the Harlem is like the legendary Afro-American artistic center, you know what I'm saying? And so, come on. It's just people don't even perform anymore. I feel like people don't put on, Burna Boy. I saw Burna Boy last summer in Chicago. He was terrible. Now, I love Burna Boy's music. Horrible performer. I actually left early. I was mad because I was looking forward to seeing him perform for so long, and it was so sucky. It was terrible. Okay? And so that's why Akon had a lot of nerve talking about African performers are better than Black American performers. Yeah, the fuck right, okay? Where is the African Michael Jackson? Where is the African Janet Jackson? Where is the African Chris Brown? Where is the African Prince? Where is the African Beyonce, okay? And then you talk about Motown, you talk about even before Motown. If you look at some of the Afro-American dancers back in the 20s and the stuff they were doing, we have a legacy of showmanship and great performing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't think that Rihanna walks in that. And I feel like I see, you know, I mean, I'm just tired of hearing the conversation, okay? Because it's just like, you know, I don't feel like she deserved that Michael Jackson Performance Award years ago. I've always thought that she was an extremely boring performer. If you go back and look at any performance that she's ever done, you're not going to ever see one that like blows you away. Every performance Beyonce does is epic, okay? And I just feel like she was lucky. I feel like sometimes luck exists. Okay, some people have talent and good luck. Some people don't have talent and good luck. I feel like Beyonce has talent and good luck. Okay, because there are people who are really talented who never really make it, but they are like Tiana Taylor is not as big. You know, she's not like a huge star, but Tiana Taylor has star power. Tiana Taylor is an amazing performer. And it's one thing if you can be good in the studio, or one thing if you can be good on a video shoot. But how are you live? Can you actually get through a live show? You know what I'm saying? Tiana Taylor is amazing with that, you know, and she's not a huge star. So you do have luck is a thing. Some people are talented, like Beyonce is talented and lucky. Rihanna is not talented and lucky. And the fact that people are just like, oh, you know, we want her to make more music. Like, I really don't care. She makes more music cool, but it's like, I don't know if people even expect that from her because now, with having kids, I understand her not wanting to work that hard now because you want to spend time with your family. That's exactly why with like Beyonce, we don't really see her like that. She got 3 kids. Like we don't really see her. She's prioritizing being a mom and being with her family. I totally get that. But I feel like, you know, I can just look at Rihanna. She's the type of person that wants to put in minimal effort. So what she is doing with Fenty and everything is perfect because that's minimal effort. You have a team, all that stuff is on autopilot. You just collect the money. You're not really doing much. She, to me, is not cut out as to be a high caliber performer and doesn't deserve, you know, that title of like, oh, she's a high caliber performer because she's not. She's just not. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And I feel like that Super Bowl performance was like, somebody couldn't come up with better outfits at least. You know what I'm saying? At least. And respect to the choreographer, I wasn't a big fan of the choreography. It was okay, you know what I'm saying? But to me, sometimes with art, and this could be dance too, okay? Sometimes things can get too abstract. Like, I mean, and again, art is subjective. Everybody has their own taste. Some people like really abstract, weird-ass art. But, you know, and to me, I feel like when people even think of Rihanna, they think sexy. So they're thinking a sexy performance. Even if you yourself can't be sexy, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But your dancers, at least, I just felt like, and I just feel like she's overhyped. Okay, so I'm gonna end it with that. I just feel like I had to say that piece because I just get tired of like, I might have made like one comment online agreeing with, you know. Now I don't think that like the president and all these people should be making public, you know, have to be so mean. But I mean, at the same time though, okay, to play devil's advocate, Black Americans, we feel like, you know, there might be white people who aren't that good, okay, and they get put on a pedestal because they're white, okay. I know that the Black Americans I grew up with felt like that about the Beatles. They felt like, why would we listen to the Beatles? We had Motown. Like, they didn't really care about the Beatles. And there are a lot of Black Americans who might feel like certain white people who aren't that talented get put on this pedestal because they're white and like they're really overrated. But I mean, white people and other races could look at that with Black people too. Like, people might have been like, okay, their performance wasn't that great, but all the Black people want to ride hard for her because they just love her so much as a person. Oh, we love her, we love her. And if she's saying anything bad, they're just saying anything bad. And they probably over there like, dude, she really wasn't that good. So that shows you that Black people can be biased too, okay? Because I feel like with Rihanna, a lot of people just riding for her just because they like her. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, was that really a good performance? Did she actually really put on good shows ever? Like, can she really sing? And to me, if you are fortunate enough to get in a position where you're getting paid all this money to be a top level performer or even an athlete, you should be getting better. You should be putting in the work to get better. Nobody's trying to hire somebody for the NBA and they don't get better from year 1 to year 5. Like, you just the same, okay? Like, you need to be working on your skills. And that was one of the things I always respected about Beyonce, is that you could see her put in the work. I remember the first time I really felt like Beyonce could dance, because I remember when she was in Baby Boy with Sean Paul, I thought she didn't have a lot of good control over her body. Like, she was throwing her body all over the place and she didn't look super controlled. But then when she did the video with Shakira, I'm like, I could tell Beyonce was working. Like, you could tell that she was really training herself and her body control got better. And from that point on, you know, single ladies, like there's so many videos and performances Beyonce did that was legendary. And Beyonce don't even be out of breath. She dances like the black women in Brazil. Black women in Brazil dance on 1,000 and they don't even be huffing and puffing. So that deserves applause. Beyonce be throwing limbs, okay? When you start swinging your arms around, kicking your legs, that shit makes you so much more exhausted. Then she be swinging her head up and down. And when you start messing with levels, when you start shaking your head and throwing your head around, when you start swinging your arms and kicking your legs, that is a whole different level of dancing and performing. And the only other person I've seen do that is Tina Turner. Tina Turner. Okay? And to do it in heels, because, Janet was a great performer, but Janet couldn't sing, okay? And Janet Jackson didn't do it in heels, all right? So it's like, I think that, yeah, Beyonce gets a lot of love, but she also gets a lot of hate. And she deserves, like, the hate to me, it's like, you don't gotta like everything she does. I don't like every song Beyonce's ever done. But you can't deny that she's not an amazing performer. And me being from New York City, me being from, that critiquing eye of things, I'm not just saying somebody's great just because I like them and I'm a fan. Like, I could be a fan of somebody. It don't mean I like everything you do. It don't mean I'm going to ride your bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Beyonce deserves all the respect as a performer, because, she's done amazing work of art. Her performances are perfect. You know what I'm saying? You have seen her put in the work over the years and get better. To me, Rihanna doesn't deserve all the applaud, the praise that she gets for being a music artist. Like, she was just lucky and got some good songs. I'm not saying I don't like her songs, but do I want to go see her perform? Hell no. I would never want to go see her perform, ever. And go back and check the record. Go look at her old performances. And if somebody can find a performance by her that was impressive, please send it to me, because I ain't seen it. So I'm just going to end it with that. I just had to say my piece because I'm just getting tired of the unbalanced conversation about it. And I hope you guys have a good day. All right? Bye.